Yeah, it's great. It's definitely right up my alley. I like playing that physical game. So, like I said, from before, I got to be find ways to be more physical beyond their top players, and yeah.
There's my answer to our hot topic on Campbell versus Gallo Habs lunch. I'm Sean Campbell. He's Mitch Gallo. But what is the question, Mitch?
Who do you want to see more from in Game 2?
Yeah, and we're just asking for one player because we could list off and go through them all. But, Mitch, I want your answer. I give you my answer. And it's not that I didn't like what I saw from Josh Anderson. But there is a level to Josh Anderson that I don't think he reached yet. It was a good level that he played at. But B-plus hockey, A-minus hockey, A hockey right now doesn't cut it when you're a wild card up against the top team in the Eastern Conference. You need A-plus hockey, and you just heard it from Josh Anderson, that physicality. I don't know how much juice he has left in the tank because of what he went through the regular season and a deserving winner of the Jacques Beauchamp Trophy. But Josh Anderson, I want him to put people through the wall like he did Jake Muzzin. That's my question. I know at 11:690 we're getting Patrick Laine, Uri Slafkovsky. But what's your answer, Mitch?
My answer is Mike Matheson. And Matheson plays more than anybody else on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He plays in all situations. Second unit of the power play, first unit of the PK. His ice time is going to be 25 minutes plus tonight. And I thought in Game 1, we saw a lot of what ailed him during the season play out in Game 1 of the series with Washington. Turned over the puck too much, hit shin pads on occasion, and I just know, having watched this player for his entire career, he's capable of better and he's capable of more. So I'm going to go with Matheson. But the reason I like this question, because I wrote it, but also because Campbell, I think you can look up and down the roster, and you're going to have the repeat answers. You're going to have Laine, you're going to have Demidov, you're going to have Slafkovsky, you're going to have Matheson. You're going to have guys that were not great in Game 1. But I think the list is very long of players that you could choose. I think Montembeault is a guy, he did everything he could. I think Suzuki and Caulfield were tremendous. I thought Caulfield was the best player on the ice. Inner slot shots, 3 in Game 1. He scored a goal on the power play. Caulfield was solid. Suzuki did Suzuki things. Those two are fine.
Yep.
But outside of Suzuki, Caulfield, and Montembeault, I think the door's wide open for an answer from any other player. Like, I look at, let's say, Jake Evans. I thought he was very quiet. Did you know in Game 1, Jake Evans did not get a single scoring chance? Expected goals of 0. 0.
Yeah, what was his face-off percentage starting in his own defensive zone?
I'd have to go back and look at the specific
that'd probably
number,
because that's what they want to do, barring that final face-off when that line got caught out there. But you see Evans, you see Dvorak out there. They know exactly their role. But then you get a guy like Jake Evans who takes his role so seriously about being the defensive player, defensive center, playing against some of the top players. But then they'll play that role of defense. They won't even cross the red line. That does happen because they feel like they need to amplify one side of their game, but they don't bring the other side of the game. You could, on that same level, we know that Armia is dealing with something, and we can flash back, like I am with Josh Anderson, back to 2021. Armia was playing on line with Eric Stahl and Corey Perry. That was the best version of Armia I've ever seen in my life. I didn't see that in Game 1. Emil Heineman, loved that he was throwing his body around. That's one of the things he does so well, one of the reasons why he's on the Montreal Canadiens and made the team. Threw 6 hits in that first game. But Emil Heineman is also someone that you would like to get a goal, an offensive opportunity. If Evans isn't giving offensive opportunities, it's not going to lead much to Emil Heineman. If Evans is hanging out by the blue line to make sure that there's no 3-on-2s the other way, you're not going to get many opportunities for Emil Heineman. The other player that I could say, you could ask for an offensive goal. He scored 20 for the Canadiens, but I really like what Gallagher brought Game 1. And I think it's more the same, getting under the skin, taking the cross checks, being involved in some shifts I saw was like 18 seconds. He went up, down, change. He did what he needed to do. And you want to see those goals. But yeah, you could go up and down this lineup 100% and choose someone. I chose Anderson. You chose Matheson. But why don't we go to Patrick Laine, because I know that is the majority of the answers coming in at 11:690.
Okay.
Patrick Laine, if the Canadiens don't get power play opportunities, it's going to be really hard for him to implement himself.
That's right. Yep. Can't argue with that.
It's one of the things that I think the Canadians have to do is when the game gets physical, you have to be able to battle through that, keep the legs moving, make sure that they're getting physical, chasing you around.
What doesn't make sense is he can be, and we've seen it with him. It's just not consistent, right? It's not shift in and shift out. Like Campbell, the guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", 2 whatever he is.
I think he's 6'5".
6'5", 200-something pounds.
Round up, man. You got to round up. Gallo, you round up all the time.
Nobody believes me anyways. Campbell, he's capable. He's capable of doing it, so that's what makes it a little bit harder. Look, his pace is never going to be there.
Yeah.
All right? And big players...
You don't need pace to be engaged. That's where I think people get confused. You don't need that pace. You may not be one of the fastest players, but you could still be engaged.
Oh, I mean, again, I don't want to draw too many comparisons to the Maple Leafs, but I was watching last night, so it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
John Tavares is incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Can you take the puck off him when he has it?
Can I just throw this aside?
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with you. If he ever makes it to the free agent market, that's the guy that the Canadians should get to play with Demidov.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Experience.
Even though the pace is not there, but I don't care.
Experience. He can score.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Continue.
Good in his own zone.
Yeah. This is a different conversation.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a fun one to have.
I had 3 years, $9 million in my mind.
I thought he was really good last night.
I had 3 years, $9 million in my mind.
Yeah. I thought he was
may not be able to get it done.
He was really good in both games so far. But anyways.
Sorry, I'm still having the conversation. I told you to stop it.
You're the one who brought it up too. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Look. Tavares doesn't play with a lot of pace.
No.
But he's effective.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing, it's tough because when players are the size that Patrick Laine is, they appear lazier than maybe they are. We've seen it in the past. People have thought that Joel Armia was lazy. People thought Rene Bourque was lazy. I could go back to the 90s. All these bigger players, Bobby Holik, Matt Sundin, people thought these guys were all lazy. It's more of an appearance thing. What's that say in the mirror of the car? Like objects in mirror maybe closer than they appear.
You got it.
It's almost like an illusion sometimes with the bigger guys. So I don't think Laine is necessarily lazy, but does he need to ramp up his intensity a little bit? Yeah, I think he does. But two things with Laine. I'm sorry, people. He's never going to get good defensively, and he's never going to get faster. If you're asking him to do either of those two things, it's not possible. You're asking for something that is impossible.
Counter that with some power play opportunities and score on the power play.
And you can be physical. That doesn't need to be taught. He's big. He's strong. We've seen it before. So if he doesn't, and Campbell, if he doesn't look like he's intense enough and he's not throwing his weight around, I think you're going to have to start shortening the bench real quick. If you have a first-line shift and then a third-line shift, then you could come back and you could put Suzuki with Demidov and Newhook, and then have a fourth-line shift, and then go back to the top line with Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slafkovsky. You give a little bit more ice to Suzuki, and then the next time around, maybe you want to do it with Caulfield for a shift.
Yeah.
With Demidov and Newhook, and have a rotation here. It's a little bit harder on the road to
have him as a
matchups.
Power play specialist. Remember, it was in the playoffs too. Marc-Andre Bergeron would play four. He would play 4 minutes a game, and it was all on the power play.
Well, if memory serves me well, Marc-Andre Bergeron played 6 minutes in Game 7 against the Capitals in 2010 and scored the game winner on the power play. If memory serves me well, that's a lot to remember from 15 years ago.
We should have asked Bruce.
But I think he scored the game winner on the power play with about 6 minutes. About 6 minutes played.